Imagine spending 27 years behind bars, not for stealing, not for murder, but for demanding freedom for your people. This is the incredible true story of the man who went from prisoner number 46664 to becoming the first black president of South Africa, Nelson Mandela. The movie begins in rural South Africa, where a young Nelson Mandela grows up in a traditional Xhosa community. As a child, he witnesses tribal customs, leadership rituals, and learns lessons about courage and responsibility. But as he grows older, he realizes that South Africa is divided by a brutal system called apartheid, a system where black people are treated as second-class citizens. Mandela moves to Johannesburg and becomes one of the few black lawyers in the country. Every day he watches innocent black citizens humiliated, arrested, and denied basic rights. The injustice fuels his anger. Instead of remaining silent, he joins the African National Congress, also known as the ANC. This decision changes his life forever. Mandela quickly becomes one of the most charismatic leaders in the movement. He organizes protests, rallies, and campaigns against apartheid. The government sees him as a threat. Police begin monitoring him everywhere he goes. At the same time, his political activities start destroying his personal life and marriage. The more he fights for freedom, the more he sacrifices his family. During this turbulent period, Mandela meets Winnie Madikizela. The chemistry between them is instant. She becomes his wife and eventually one of the strongest symbols of resistance against apartheid. Together, they become South Africa's most famous political couple. Then comes one of the movie's most shocking moments. Police open fire on unarmed protesters during the Sharpeville massacre. Bodies fall everywhere. Blood covers the streets. Mandela realizes peaceful protests alone may never defeat apartheid. This event changes everything. Mandela goes underground. He disguises himself and constantly changes locations to avoid capture. He helps create the ANC's armed wing, Umkhonto we Sizwe. For the first time, the movement begins sabotage operations against government targets. The government launches a nationwide manhunt. Eventually, Mandela is arrested. The government puts him on trial, hoping to destroy the resistance movement. Instead, Mandela turns the courtroom into a battlefield. His speeches inspire millions. But the verdict is devastating: life imprisonment. The audience knows he may never see freedom again. The film's emotional core begins here. Mandela arrives at Robben Island. Prison guards humiliate him daily. He performs hard labor in a limestone quarry. Letters from family are heavily restricted. Years pass, then decades. His children grow up without him. His marriage begins to crumble. Yet Mandela refuses to surrender his dignity. Instead of becoming bitter, he becomes stronger. Outside prison walls, South Africa is exploding. Protests spread across the country. Violence intensifies. International pressure mounts against the apartheid government. Ironically, Mandela becomes more powerful in prison than he ever was outside it. His name becomes a global symbol of freedom. As apartheid begins collapsing, government officials secretly approach Mandela. They want peace talks. Many people expect Mandela to seek revenge after decades of suffering. Instead, he surprises everyone. He chooses reconciliation over hatred. This becomes one of the most powerful themes in the entire film. After 27 years in prison, Mandela finally walks free. The scene is unforgettable. Crowds celebrate. The world watches. One man who was once considered a terrorist is now welcomed as a hero. South Africa prepares for its first democratic election. For the first time, people of all races can vote together. Millions line up at polling stations. The impossible becomes reality. Nelson Mandela is elected president of South Africa.